Jonathan Martin, thank you very much indeed for this season, and that's right, 133 days, and we do it all over again when that man arrives in Bahrain as the Formula One world champion. Eddie Jordan, David Coulthard, not just the last lap, but actually a fitting last race to an incredible season.
Yes, indeed. What a great bit of action there on the last lap. Fighting as hard, even though Jensen's got the World Championship in the bag, but obviously Mark Webber didn't want to relinquish that second place. So I think it was a great spectacle here to be in Abu Dhabi. I think it's been an incredible season of Formula One racing.
Yeah, well, we're all on the edge of our seat, and that's how it should be. We've come here to race. Everyone thought it was just a foregone conclusion. It was a demonstration. It never could have been a demonstration because these guys, A, are too professional, too proud to let anyone past them, and we had a real good fight between Webber and the current world champion, or future world champion, I should say, when he's crowned. And so from that point of view, yeah, I was really thrilled. I mean, possibly partly that it wasn't a very exciting race, but when we lost Hamilton, I think we lost, if you like, the potential of a huge dynamic battle, which we were robbed of, I suppose.
Well, you mentioned excitement. How pleased will Jenson Button be to be back on the podium, having been crowned the world champion? He wouldn't have sort of wanted just to fade away into the darkness here in Abu Dhabi, would he?
No, he missed the chance to be up there above the crowd celebrating his world championship in Brazil. I'm sure this is exactly the finish he wanted this season. Of course, he would love to have won it, but he knew he didn't have the car to deliver that. But he put in a very strong drive, and you know, he's spraying the rose water, but I'm sure they'll be drinking the champagne back in the base privately.
Oh, I think you're right. Congratulations, Jenson Button. He's back on the podium. Well done as well, Sebastian Vettel. But what about the Brawn team principal? In fact, the Brawn owner, we saw him 2 weeks ago. He was pretty emotional, Ross Brawn, wasn't he? Let's see how he's feeling after the final race of the year.
Well done, Ross. Good way to end the season on the podium, and that was very entertaining at the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great. A great race. I thought we'd have a good race here. I think probably some things we can learn from the circuit. I think the circuit's almost perfect. For those fast corners, 5 and 6 into the little slow stuff, makes it difficult to follow. But fabulous facility, and I think we're honoured to be here and privileged to be here at the first race. Fantastic.
Did you say anything to Jenson on the radio after the race, just to sum up a year with him?
Well, it's all much more than any of us expected, and he's done a great job. And I think, you know, he's driving at the end. Obviously, we haven't quite got the pace of Red Bull at the moment. They've moved ahead a little bit, but I think we made the best of what we had. Crew did a fantastic job again. It's just so solid. You can just rely on them, and also everyone at the factory. Fantastic job from a reliability point of view. We've failed to finish 2 races in the whole season, and one of those was a crash. So the reliability record is stunning.
Because, yeah, Rubens did do well. You say that about Jenson, but do you feel he really wanted that pressure off this weekend, bit more aggression, throwing caution to the wind in those last few laps?
Yeah, but it was measured caution. I think he pushed it as far as he could with Mark. Mark was tough, and yeah, he pushed it as far as he could, and yeah, perfect.
Yeah, but he didn't need to be measured.
Oh, he didn't want to go off. We didn't want to...
Why not? We might as well try.
No, that's no good. That's no good.
OK, thanks, Ross.
No good at all. Ross Brawn looking very happy. Fatna, I don't know where you live. I don't know you, but I do know that that man wants to be your husband. He works for Brawn GP. We can see a few people getting very excited. I do hope that the answer is yes, and James Corden is also getting involved in the action, so he clearly wants you to get married, Fatna. We've also got an excited Boris Becker behind us here. Boris, are you excited about the fact that a German has won the inaugural Abu Dhabi Grand Prix?
Very much. I'm very impressed with young Sebastian all season long. You know, he hasn't been around a long time, but once he's up, he drives like an experienced driver. And, you know, lots of competition today again, but I wouldn't be surprised if he goes one more step next year.
So you're a former champion. You know what it takes to be a champion. You think next year could be his year?
I think the way he drove the last couple of races and the way also he overcome the crisis this summer, you know, speaks for his courage and his concentration, really. And I wouldn't be surprised if he'd be world champion next year.
And I think James Corden, who clearly is an expert on Formula One, you would agree with that. Sebastian Vettel for world champion next year?
Absolutely not. There's only one man.
Who would that be? Jenson Button?
It's all about Jenson Button. I can't believe we're even discussing anybody else. It's disgusting. The man's world champion, and the Brawn team. I'm making a plea now. The Brawn team, team of the year, sports personality of the year, without question.
Well, I'm surprised you said that after they superglued your trousers and your shoes to the ceiling in the Brawn garage, but we won't discuss that on national television. James, I'm sure you've had a great weekend. Thanks very much. Well done, James. And, well, this is sort of a clear indication of the kind of atmosphere that we've got here, actually. All weekend there have been people having fun, enjoying this, and we talked about, will there be an atmosphere in Abu Dhabi for the last race? And I think that's a clear indication of the fact that there's been a fantastic atmosphere here.
Well, that's precisely what. Yes, there is partly atmosphere, but we've had one hard race. It was very hard qualifying. I thought the qualifying was excellent. But I think people wanted to make a statement by coming here, and I think more especially the kingdom here at Abu Dhabi has been so unbelievably welcoming, and they've made this life for us and the celebrities so easy.
Yeah, I'm really happy to see that there was a lot of racing happening out on track there. There was a lot of action during the race. It might not have ended in the ultimate move, but there was guys trying. And I don't think it's just end of season, you know, trying to end with a good school report. I think the track with the double straight with the small chicane in the middle did lend itself for cars to actually get in the slipstream and go for it.
Been a great weekend. Let's get back to the serious stuff now. The 3 fastest drivers of the day in the drivers' press conference.
Sebastian, you took the fight to Lewis Hamilton in the early stages. You managed to get ahead of him. It was another powerful performance today.
Yeah, it was a fantastic race. I mean, first of all, the start. We had a very good launch, a very good start. Obviously not good enough to out-accelerate Lewis, but I was very close. I was surprised. And then going on the long back straight, obviously he pushed the button and that's it. So he disappeared in the distance, but I was able to stay close enough. I mean, we knew that we are a little bit heavier, so it was the key always to catch up, especially the last sector. The car was a dream today, so I was always catching him up quite a lot, and I think that was the secret. So to stay with him, and obviously then with the pit stops under a lot of pressure and enter the pit lane. Nearly went a bit wide at the entrance, and then obviously that scary exit through the tunnel, but on the limit and enough to get past him. And unfortunately then he had to retire, but up to that point for sure it was a fantastic race. After that, obviously I had a little bit of a cushion to Mark and Jensen behind, and was able to pace myself a bit, but until the end the car was fantastic and was working brilliant on both tires, both compounds. Obviously I think the Prime was the favorite tire today, and then but also on the option towards the end it was just yeah, as I said, a pleasure to this evening to sit in the car. And what shall I say? I mean, you know, a bit. I think to sum up the season is up and down. I think the second half we have been very strong, as you mentioned, 4th 1-2 for Red Bull Racing. So congratulations to the team. I mean, they have been pushing a lot, working a lot back in the factory, and as we can see, the car is getting quicker. It's a shame now the season ends because we are just. Happy. Yeah, I can imagine. I know why. So, you know, it's a perfect day to finish the season on a high.
Well done. Mark, fantastic fight at the end with Jensen in the closing stages. Tell us all about it.
Well, first of all, from the start, I was made a pretty good launch and had a bit of a look on the outside of Seb, but in the main game was really trying to get back on the inside and get a clean exit because I knew it was a long run down to turn 5. I got hit quite hard in the left rear at the first corner. I was worried about a puncture. Kyron kept telling me the tyre was had enough pressure, so I was quite relieved that I didn't have a puncture. Looked like Lewis was struggling a little bit in the first few laps, so Seb both of us would be able to sit a little bit closer than probably expected. And then it started to stabilise, and I was pretty happy on the primes. Seb was just that bit quicker today on both stints, on all 3 stints, especially the last one. I had not much of a feeling on the option, and it was the same for me on Friday. I was quite slow on that tyre, so I preferred the stability of the prime. And then I thought at the end there, we had a bit of a short fill, unfortunately, so JB could do some good laps on the overlap and close the gap down on me. And I thought, yeah, this is going to be quite tight at the end. And I just had to make sure I had to be accurate with my braking points. We know we had a slight top speed advantage, but not much. And, you know, it's a credit to how he's driven all year. And at the end, we had a good, clean fight on the limit for the 2 big stops. And, you know, I just want to congratulate the team for their patience with me at the start of the year, coming back from what happened. And then, you know, it's been very enjoyable driving with Sebastian this year. Renault have given us a fantastic engine. And overall, Red Bull can be incredibly proud with what we've achieved. So it's my best season. We've had 16 podiums together, so it's good. Cheers.
Very well done. Jensen, that battle from your perspective, and also a bit of a battle again with Kamui Kobayashi.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun race. For me, the prime tyre was not my favourite tyre, I must say, in the race. I had a lot of understeer in the car. But when Kobayashi was on a 1-stopper and I had pitted already. I came out, and the first big stop is turn 8. And when you've got that much fuel on board, it's always very difficult to judge your braking point down there. And I slightly outbraked myself, and I locked the rears and the fronts under braking, ran a bit wide, and he got past. And in reality, it didn't make any difference to my race because he was quicker than me at that point. And then I was struggling a little bit with the prime tyre, but I tried to make the best out of it. And then after the second stop, I found that I had very good grip with the option tyre. I got back the front issues that I had with the prime. I had very good initial turn in, which meant I could carry a lot of speed through. And that's why I was able to close down Mark. The last couple of laps were a lot of fun for me. I couldn't make the move stick, and you know, I was very excited about that battle, and I thought I could pull it off. But Mark's always a very difficult person to overtake, and I think we were clean, but on the edge, so it was perfect. And you know, disappointed not to get that second place, but I really enjoyed the fight today. And today, for me, has been a bonus after winning the championship in Brazil, and I've really enjoyed driving this weekend, a car that's been very competitive. So I need to thank everyone at Brawn and Mercedes-Benz for all their hard work. You know, after Brazil, it would have been easy to say, right, let's just enjoy ourselves and not concentrate on Abu Dhabi, but we did, and we've come away with a podium, which is a nice way to end the year, and everyone should be very, very proud of themselves after what we've achieved. But lastly, I'd like to say congratulations to Seb. Sterling job today, and you know, we just didn't. They had the legs on us, and we just couldn't challenge them, which is a pity. But all round, I think the first Abu Dhabi Grand Prix was a good one, and I'm looking forward to coming back.
Well, back to you, Seb. Red Bull has won the last 3 races of the season, so let's look forward a little bit. What does that say about where you're going to be going into next season?
Oh, it would be very good to continue like that. Obviously, now we will face a long winter, especially for all of us drivers, a long break without any testing. So we will see, but I think, you know, back in England, back in the factory, the guys are pushing very hard, and the cars do not change that much for next year. Obviously, the biggest change is that you're not allowed to refuel. But we will see. You know, it's a bit unknown. I think this season was very special. I remember, you know, a couple of years back, those two have been driving. I was watching. You know, it was pretty much set after the first couple of races who is going to win each race. And fair enough. I mean, there were only 2 teams. This year, I think it was totally different. Very exciting. A lot of overtaking. Different teams on top. So I think a special season all around. And hopefully the next one will be as exciting as this one, even a bit more. We will see. So definitely looking forward. I think, to sum it up, we had a very, very good season. A lot of positive things, but also some things we probably did wrong. But you know, it's not a shame. We just need to know and understand why that happened, and we should come back stronger next year.
And I think anybody that knows Sebastian Vettel knows that he'll be working on the weaknesses as opposed to the positives over the winter. So here we go then. Congratulations to Sebastian Vettel. He makes it a hat-trick for Red Bull. They win the last 3 races of the year to win the second half of the year. They've been a really informed, dominant team in this second period. Mark Webber and Jenson Button, very exciting for them towards the end of the race. And look at that, the top 4 drivers in the standings that we'll see in a moment finish as the top 4 in Abu Dhabi. That's nice, isn't it? And congratulations to Kamui Kobayashi. In fact, congratulations to Toyota. Lots of concerns and worries about their future, but Kamui Kobayashi manages to pick up some points. So well done to him, and a good day for Toro Rosso, who've had a real struggle this season. In the Drivers' Championship, we all know by now that Jenson Button was the world champion. He extends his lead, so congratulations to him. Nothing else changes in the top 10, which means that Lewis Hamilton pips Kimi Räikkönen to 5th spot by just a single point, which is fantastic. And in the Constructors' Championship, Brawn GP with 172 points, Red Bull with 153.5. And look at that, it's still a point. McLaren and Ferrari. McLaren did it just very close indeed. But it's Red Bull who finished second, and Christian Horner is with us now. Christian, how's the ankle? Because we saw it there jiggling up and down, possibly the fastest it's been all season. How was that last couple of laps for you?
Oh, definitely the last couple of laps. You know, our hearts were in our mouth on the pit wall because Mark was struggling a bit with the option tyre, and just hang in there and did a brilliant job, you know, and made Jenson go the long way around, was firm but fair, and a brilliant 1-2 finish. We just heard Sebastian sum up the season. He said it's been a very, very good year. We've done some great things and we've made some mistakes. What are the mistakes, and what do you think you can take into 2010 to be even stronger? Well, I think we've had a fantastic year. That's our 6th win, our 4th 1-2 finish. I think the bottom line is we lost too much ground at the beginning of the year. The double diffuser played a vital role in that, and we dropped 12 scores to bronze 3, and that was through crashes, an engine failure. But we've learned a lot. We'll come back stronger, and we've got a lot to look forward to.
Look into 2010, what is the biggest challenge that you face, given that I believe the aero regs are fairly stable, but we don't have any refueling?
It's going to be a challenge, but we've got a great platform. There's reasonable continuity in the regs other than the refueling, so everything we've learned this year we can put into good practice, and with continuity with our drivers, with the people within the team, we've got a great platform.
Christian, I'll come back to the drivers. You're very fortunate. You've got 2 absolute winners with your team next year. Probably, I'll disagree with David. He says somebody else has the best driver team lineup. I would suggest that yours is. Do you think you can keep them both happy and both fighting with a possibility of being champions?
We've got 3 great drivers, because you forgot David's still on our books. But
David is on the books at BBC. I'm not letting him go anywhere. He's my wingman. Don't worry about him.
So the 2 that are current are doing a brilliant job, and I think Sebastian's an obvious star of the future. Mark's in the form of his life, and it's a great balance that we've got within the team. So I'm very proud of everything I've achieved this year.
Okay, Christian, thank you very much. Congratulations on a great season, and enjoy the break this winter.
Thank you very much indeed.
All right, thank you. Well done. Congratulations to Red Bull today, and also well done to Rubens Barrichello. I actually saw him last night. He said to me, I'm going to win this race, Jake. I'm going to surge up through the field and win it. Well, that didn't quite happen, but he did finish 4th. Here's what he thinks.
Rubens, just talk us through your race. It looked pretty hard work out there.
Yeah, a lot of work. A very exciting start. Weber gave me a little bit of space, even though I was a bit optimistic. The fact is, I locked up and I went into the inside of the corner, but he cut across and he took a piece of my front wing. I was, going on the radio. I lost front wing, and because of that, Jensen went by because I didn't have any downforce, and plus. I didn't know what the car was going to do. At the time that I saw some understeer, but I can live with it, I said, just push. And the team felt I was happily with the car, even though I was saying I was missing downforce. They said, you're quite competitive, so you should keep on going. And they didn't change the front wing, which I think I was missing some of the downforce there. Having said that, it was a competitive race all the way through, and I need to thank the team for giving me a car that it was competitive all the way through.
Just explain how much you've enjoyed not just this race, but the whole of this season, the whole of 2009.
Well, I thank God for the opportunity that he gave me. It was fantastic, the chance that, when you drive 3 bad cars, you optimistic, but you never know if you're going to drive a winning car again. So this car put me on a winning circle once again. And I hope I can keep it up.
Thanks, Rubens.
Okay, thank you.
Well, apologies for the technical issues there. Rubens Barrichello, season to remember for him in a Williams next year, do we think?
Absolutely. I think it's all but confirmed. I mean, we know about it. Everyone knows about it. It's just they won't tell us. That's ridiculous.
Okay, well, today we've looked to the future of Formula One, haven't we? But we also must pay our respects to a real racing man, Tom Wheatcroft, who owned Donington Park. He owned the circuit. He made his money in farming, and he brought the Grand Prix to Donington in 1993. And we're very sad to say that he has passed away today at the age of 87. Eddie, you knew Tom well, and a wonderful guy.
The absolute racer's racer. There is no greater enthusiast that I've ever come across in my time in racing in Britain. Tom Wheatcroft will be a legend in my view, always.
David?
Well, I'm heartened that he saw one Grand Prix in the modern era back in '93. I'm just disappointed he didn't get the news that it was being confirmed at Donington before his passing. But yeah, I've got to pay my respects to the family. He was a great man and a big influence in my early career racing at Donington.
And in a race weekend where we've seen 350 British motorsport fans all around the circuit in the form of the marshals. Of course, our thoughts do go out to the Wheatcroft family, and we thank Tom for everything that he did for British motorsport over the years. Right, gentlemen, that's almost it for this season. 2009 has almost disappeared. Eddie, how would you sum up 2009?
I finally confused everyone. We haven't fought on air yet, but we have fought out of air. But he's been brilliant. I've loved working with David. And we're trying to blood you in as a young cub. Not too bad. But David and us, you'd be nothing without us.
Well, listen, I'm learning something every single weekend. David, what's it been like stepping from the cockpit in front of the TV camera?
Well, it's been quite a bit to adapt to. You know, I didn't have that emotion of feeling that I was missing when the first cars went out on the track in Australia. But as the year's gone on, I've really got the chance to appreciate what a great privilege it was for me to be a Grand Prix driver for 15 seasons. And you know, I've thoroughly enjoyed, hopefully giving an extra insight to the viewers at home. And I think it's been a great year. We've seen the comeback in McLaren, the emergence of Brawn, the emergence of Red Bull. There's been so many great stories this year in this 2009 Grand Prix season.
But the story of the year does remain Jenson Button. We have to finish talking about him. The big question on everybody's lips is that now that Brawn are seen as the team to beat, can they keep this up? Will they get the investment? We're hearing that Mercedes are going to take a bigger stake in the team. Do you expect more dominance from Brawn and more great driving from Jenson Button next season?
I think there's no foregone conclusion about where the season is going. In fact, I'm seeing a huge array of open chances for all sorts of teams, and I couldn't single out one who's at this moment looking like dominating next year, and as a result it could be fascinating.
David?
Yeah, I was just hanging in every word there. Yeah, I think that there's only a slight change to the regs going into 2010. I think that not refueling will put it more on the driver. He's going to have to manage his brakes. We've seen a couple of brake issues this year with half the size of tank that they'll have next year. So that's going to make it intriguing from my point of view. Yeah, stability with the aero rules. A lot of people will have caught up. No double diffusers going on at the beginning of the year. So I think that you've got Brawn there, you've got Red Bull, you've got McLaren back. Ferrari, I'm sure, will come back strong. There'll be a lot of teams playing for it.
Teams will be worried about Ferrari, won't they? Because they stopped their development pretty early on this season. If any team has really made a nod towards 2010 and said, that's the season for us, it's Ferrari.
You say that, but they had a really difficult car this year, and you say they didn't develop it, but they didn't make it easy either. And Fisichella, who is a race winner, he just didn't seem to be at ease at all in this car. It was complicating. They need to make it driver friendly. They haven't been able to do that.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is just about it. But if you would like to relive what has been actually a pretty special Grand Prix, hasn't it, then you can do this evening. As usual on BBC 3 at 7 p.m, you can see the highlights from the inaugural Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And guess what? We're already gearing up for Bahrain. The countdown has begun. 133 days. The provisional date is the 14th of March 2010. We'll have a review of the season, Jenson Button's glorious season. Next Saturday at 1 p.m, you can relive some of the greatest moments. And of course, we'll hear from the man himself. And we're about to disappear off to the Red Button Forum by the marina here. And we would love you lot to get in touch. f1@bbc.co.uk. And there really is an awful lot to discuss. So do get in touch, do press red. Thank you so much for being part of the return of Formula One to the BBC. The sun has gone down here in the incredible Yas Marina circuit. The sun has set on 2009. We look forward to Bahrain.